this shit crank. Paving this shit crank. Paving this shit crank.
Hey, what's going on? What is going on? It's your boy Scotty. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Once again, I would like to apologize for the stream. It is what it is, but the game didn't seem to be too close as a lot of people thought that it was going to be. But listen, this is your time to call in. This is your time to get your voice heard. The closest person to the score was Mr. Freeman with the 38-17 A&M. Now, if Alabama State would have kicked the field goal instead of going in for 4th and 12, my man Freeman would have won the Amazon gift card, but they ended up going for 4th and 12. That was heartbreaking. After that, nobody else was really close, but Mr. Bozeman was pretty close. He had 42-17 A&M, and then I had another 42-20 from Mr. Blake, and yeah, that's it. But yeah, this is your call in. This post game is probably gonna go about an hour and a half, maybe. So make sure you get your calls in. Make sure you get your calls in. All right. This is your time. And listen, once again, I got another one right. Alabama A&M pulled it out. All them Alabama State fans calling in. Mr. Alphabet Gang. Yeah. Not looking too good over there, my guy. But but it is what it is. You know, you win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day. You know what I'm saying? So, copyright infringement, Mr. Bozeman. Copyright infringement. Somebody reported me or whatever, but copyright infringement. So once YouTube feels you got a copyright infringement, they take your stuff down with the quickness. Hey, caller, you live. What's up, caller? Turn your background down. You live.
Hey, my fault, man. Hey, this is Jerome again from Charlotte, man. That was a really good game. Watching Alabama A&M just basically come out of halftime, making adjustments. It was just amazing, man.
Hold on, Mr. Jerome. Really, I can't hear you. You said what? Making what?
To me, they made some adjustments.
Adjustments.
Alabama State was.
Okay. I didn't know JSU fans knew what adjustments were. I didn't know if you guys knew what adjustments was.
Well, given that we lead the series of both of these sorry schools, it is what it is. But I will say this, man, just seeing what they did in the second half, to counter what Alabama State was trying to do with the blitz, hey, hats off to Alabama State, hats off to A&M. And it should be really interesting to see how they match up against UAPB and I guess in the Swac title. Palm Bluff, man, they seem to be high octane, especially looking at what they did for Southern University.
Yeah,
man, I expect a shootout because both defenses look kind of, I won't say
iffy,
suspect, but
iffy.
I really expect a high scoring, kind of similar to what A&M and Jackson State put on last week. I expect 40, 50 range offensive scores. And I got UAPB possibly coming out with the W because though they really exposed, as far as A&M, they exposed Alabama State today, especially in the second half. I don't know, man. Palm Bluff, they just look like a juggernaut right now coming out the West. So it'll be interesting.
Hey, Mr. Brooks, I would agree with like 50% of what you said. And the reason I said that Alabama State didn't get exposed because there's only so much that you can do without your starting quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you can see the team getting more and more deflated as the game went on. Like he was missing throws. He wasn't making, timely reads. And it's only so much the defense can do because I promise you, that is a different game with Ryan Nettles. And I'll say that I'll stand on the mountain by myself on that one. That is a completely different game with Ryan Nettles in as the quarterback. It's definitely more competitive. It definitely comes down to a last possession or the last two possessions. So that's my take on that. Because think about it. Once Ryan Nettles gets out the game, all you really got to focus on is the run. That's really it. Because yeah,
I would tell you though, like if you think about what Alabama State was able to do to most as far as their defense, what they were able to do to most offenses this spring, I really expected Alabama State to, really lock down more in the second half. But you could just really tell, man, the defensive coordinator during halftime, he didn't come up with a really well put together scheme. And that's why I kind of said, A&M kind of exposed, Alabama State. And then, of course, the running back was, a non-factor in the second half. But like I said, man, heading into next week, man, in a couple of weeks for the Swac title game, which I think will be hosted by the school who has the better record.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that A&M or is that UAPB?
It will be UAPB because they have more wins.
Okay, because I think Palm Bluff is 4-0, and I think, yeah, you're right.
Yep.
I guess this will be A&M's, fourth win?
Yeah, that third win.
Okay. So, man, I don't know how that small stadium can hold that crowd, but, hey, it should be a really good game. I expect a high-scoring game. But, honestly, man, this entire spring, it's just been like a really good look for the Swac, black college football. I really expect a lot of eyes to continue to be watching, the broadcast on ESPN2 for the Swac title game. And hopefully, man, that'll translate to more, top recruits coming, of course, to all of our schools. Because I just feel like, if we can just kind of continue this momentum, we can definitely change the game, man. And, of course, that game translates to revenue. So we'll see, man.
No, and I think what's really – and I'm glad you said that because what I think what's really going to happen is that FAMU game with JSU is going to set the stage. Like, of how the fall – if that game becomes a classic, 35, 31, 40, 37, something like that, to me, win or lose, whoever wins or lose that game is going to set the tone for the fall season. Now, if that game comes out and one team gets blown out, it's gonna be like, So I think all this momentum is building for the fall. But that to me, I'm sorry to put so much pressure on JSU, but I think that first game is legendary.
Absolutely. I mean, man, I got some inside intel, if you will, man. Just know that there is a TV deal in the works for that Orange Blossom Classic in Miami. Tickets are just going, just selling like hotcakes. Mm-hmm. Both alumni base just, buying them up. Both schools actually will be playing in Miami for the next 2 years. But yeah, man, if we can get the viewership up for that game and just, the press is already eating it up. that definitely will set the tone, for the rest of the season. But especially that Swac East, man, they look dangerous coming into to next fall. Plus with Dion Effect, and Fam and Jackson and Alabama A&M and State, like, and with Alcorn moving to the West, I mean, that does give them a little bit of balance. But it's scary, man. And then you got old buddy at Tennessee State. I can't wait for that game in Memphis with TSU and Jackson State. Black colleges, man, it's just a really good look right now. So
it's a wonderful look. Man. It's a wonderful look. And I'm glad you called in because it's a great time, honestly, to be a part of the SWAC. And listen, that SWAC East. Listen, exactly. There is no days off. There is no days off. Like there's no gimme games. There's no gimme games in that. I don't care who you playing because if you're JSU, everybody's going to get up for you. That you already know that's going to happen. And then on the back end of that, there's a lot of just interconference matchups you want to see. You want to see the rematch of the Magic City Classic because of this game with Ryan Nettles. You're going to want to see the Bethune and FAMU game because of their classic game. It's just you want to see the FAMU and JSU. You're going to want to see Bethune-Cookman with JSU. You're going to want to see FAMU and Alabama A&M. Like there's so much headlines that you're going to want to see it happen.
What's crazy, man, but it's beautiful. I don't know if you've caught social media the last couple of weeks, man, but there have been NFL scouts from the Jets to the Cowboys to several other franchises, man, that have actually attended several of these SWAC games, man. So it's kind of like the gift that just keeps on giving, man.
Yeah.
From just a higher viewership profile all the way down to, like what Jackson said, they're seeing an increase in the spring enrollment this year as well as the fall applications, as a lot of other schools are heading into the fall. The alumni, interest is really up. Fundraising is up at quite a few of the SWAC schools. And, you just look at how most of these HBCUs, regardless of what conference they're in, they primarily serve the communities that they're located near.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about, volunteerism, research, all that. So if we can continue to get all these kids to come to our schools, put up bigger numbers that translates to revenue, it's going to, of course, inadvertently affect all those Black communities that those HBCUs serve. So it's just a win-win all around, man. And I'm just thankful, to I guess we have a kind of an up-close front row seat to witness all this, because we haven't seen something like this on this level probably since the 90s or the 80s. So buckle up, man. It's going to be fun.
It will be fun. And I'm going to be right here watching the whole thing, bring it on in. But appreciate the call, Mr. Brooks.
Hey, yes, sir, man. Y'all be blessed.
You too, man. Hey, caller, you live.
All right, what's up, Script? This is KJ calling from Florida.
What's good? Talk to me.
All right, man. I'm gonna talk to you strictly from a business aspect. As I told you before, man, I've been in sports administration for some years, and what I'm gonna talk to you about, man, is this right here. As far as the game, I had I just want to watch it and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you like this, man. Horrible presentation for the SWAC. And let me tell you why. If they don't do something about the officials, man, it is extremely disappointing to sit there for 4 hours almost and watch this. And they got to do something about that, man. So I hope the SWAC commissioner or somebody gets in and does something. Let me tell you why on the business aspect of it. When we try to negotiate with different networks to try to be able to get a game, say, for example, certain classic games, the talk has always been, well, the issue is that we lose money because, from, say, for example, the Bayou Classic. One of the reasons why it had to be moved was if you have a schedule for 2.5 to 3 hours, you got bands that's taking up a certain amount of time. You have other things going on, and that game runs for 4. Networks lose money. Like tonight, the ESPN lost money. You cannot afford to put a game on for a 2.5 hour to 3 hour slot, and that game runs almost 3 hours and 45 minutes, or that's money lost. So when you're trying to go into negotiations with ESPN to get on the big network, they're going to be telling you the same thing they told us 15, 20 years ago. Unless you tighten up your game slots and your time slots, we can't afford to put you on main TV because you run too long. So that's the reason why HBCU games, when we look at reruns that are run at night, instead of, say, the game started at 7, they don't show that game until 10:30 at night or 11. It's because they realize that those games run long, and it won't run into another live event that they have to switch it over with. So you go to the fall and you're trying to get the SWAC into certain time slots with all other sporting events. They're not going to do that. They're not going to run the risk of putting FAMU and Jackson State on at, say, 7 o'clock. And say, for example, you got a game going on with, somebody slated for 9:30 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard for you to negotiate to get that. So I hope to God, man, that the SWAC commissioner truly looks at that and realize that is killer. Because we got a good product, but you cannot have a game go, man, almost 4 hours.
Let me ask you a question,
ridiculous.
Mr. KJ.
That's
so
crazy, man.
When if a Power 5 conference, if an Alabama and Auburn game goes at the Iron Bowl, let's just say the Iron Bowl goes for, if it goes for.
There are 2 participants in the conference.
Hey, my bad. Mr. KJ, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, that was on me. All right, so
okay.
If the Auburn, let's say the Auburn and the Alabama Iron Bowl happen and they go overtime, are they look the same way, or how does that work? Do they?
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. You got sponsors now that are willing to step in and be able to know that there's certain eyes on it. So if you got 10, 15, 20 million people, 20 million people watching that game, that's a whole lot different compared to getting a Domino's pizza or someone to be able to say, okay, step in and sponsor this, and we got to run, and there's an opportunity. I may have to charge you more because the game may run over the 2.5 hour slot. So those are the kind of things that we were running into in trying to get prime network television, ESPN, the big channel, to carry it. So this is why it goes over to the ESPN2, the ESPN
3s and ESPNUs,
that type of thing of trying to get it. But man, like I said, tonight that cannot happen. That is a killer, and I hope the SWAC commission realize you got a referee calling plays. They say in football you can call a penalty almost every play.
Yeah,
pretty much. You cannot have that, man. That's embarrassing. You gotta be able to go, hey, you gotta pick that flag up and be like, hey, I gotta have a consciousness to know I'm on television. There's certain things we gotta keep moving.
To me,
you cannot have that, man.
To me, it's a bit of both, right? It's the overcalling and then the stuff you don't call. Like, you call targeting off a regular tackle, and then the next play, the quarterback gets rocked in the head when he's sliding, and the thought doesn't even cross their mind to throw the flag. So it's just like, that's one. And then 2, it's like, bro, like every play, it was I got tired of seeing Clifford. I don't even know if that was his name, but I named him because I saw him so much. Like, I'm just tired of him. So go ahead.
And it's bad when the HBCU host, they actually are going like, oh man, this is ridiculous. And I felt sorry for them because now they have to go in just to try to eat up airtime. They have to start talking about something totally away from football because it's going on and on and on and on. And it's just, man, they like I said, the SWAC commissioner, he's got to step up and do something about it. You cannot have this kind of officiating on national TV and trying to promote a product to get out there, to get sponsored, to get on board of it and be able to sponsor it. You can't keep that game in 2.5 hours. It's under 3 hours. Man, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to try to get some type of time slot on the big channels, especially if you're up and coming. It's one thing if you're SEC, Big 12 or something, but it's another thing if you're the HBCU and you're eating up that kind of time. That's ridiculous, man.
That's real. I appreciate the call, Mr. KJ. You always hit me with the real. You always give us the nuts and bolts of it all.
No problem, bro.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Hey, caller, you live.
Yeah, man, what's going on?
Good. What's good? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Pretty much, man. It's Jackson, man, California.
Talk to me.
I got a question for you. So we can just talk about all football, right? Like FCS football.
Don't drift too far away from HBCUs, but talk to me.
Yeah, it's HBCU.
All right, then go ahead.
All right, so I don't know if you remember from when Jackson State played the first game when they played Edward Waters, right?
Got you.
And Edward Waters, NAIA school, and they fired the coach after that. And I heard that they hired the defensive coordinator as the head coach. So do you know if any information? Because I heard they were trying to go D2. So do you know any information if they'll be trying to do that this season or not? Or because I looked at their schedule, and the whole schedule is a bunch of D2 teams. They only got one NAIA school. So do you know anything about them?
No, but I did hear that they are trying to go D2 though. It says I have a viewer. He says EWC is D2 now. They joined the SIAC.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they said they joined the SIAC, the SIAC.
Okay. Now, are you familiar with Florida Memorial University? Have you ever heard of them?
Mm-mm.
Now that's a new HBCU. Well, it's not a new HBCU, but it's a program. The program started. The last time they played was 1952, and they recently started back up. They played this past fall, but with COVID happening, the coaches got a little trouble breaking the COVID rules. So they lost pretty much a lot of games, and the rest of the season got shut down. It's the only HBCU in South Florida. They're in Miami Gardens, and their coach, the coach is real well known in South Florida, but they plan on going D1 in the future. So I was trying to see if you ever heard of them. I know they right now they're in the NAIA, but they plan on moving up. So I have
the same viewer. It's Meech TV. Let me give him a shout out. His name is It's Meech TV. Says FMU is still NAIA.
Correct. But they plan on going to Division I. That's what I was hearing from the coach.
From as of right now, I don't. He hasn't responded to it, but I don't. As of right now, all I know is them as NAIA.
Okay. All right, appreciate it, man. I just want to see if you had any information on it.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for the call, my guy.
No problem.
All right. I appreciate it. It's Meech TV, man. You was coming through with the clutch wrist, man. For real, you a historian, my guy. Listen, so I'm gonna try to recap most of the games. Grambling Southern. It's not much to recap there. I'm probably gonna have to go watch the UAPB either on Alex Hines' channel. Hopefully he has it. He'll have it posted either tomorrow or Monday. I'll check that out. This Magic City Classic to me was a letdown, and the reason it was a letdown because Ryan Nettles went down, and it should have been a battle of the quarterbacks, or at least the quarterback with the running back. But when you lose Ryan Nettles, you lose a lot of your momentum, you lose a lot of your leadership, and not many teams can drive without their captain. So that really let me down. I mean, seriously, that really took the sails out of me watching the game. It wasn't that interesting anymore to me. And if anything, you knew the defense could only hold so much. The defense can only hold so much. You know what I'm saying? So it's just at the end of the day, was it a great game? The first half was awesome. I really feel like that black punt was a big momentum swing for Alabama A&M. But at the end of the day, that boy Akil Glass is nobody to play with. Hey, you live?
Hey, what's going on, boss?
Talk to me. What's your name? Where you calling from?
David. I'm calling from Tallahassee, Florida, man. I've been a fan of your show this spring, man. I just wanted to highlight you real quick and make a couple bold statements, man. Obviously, I've been really rooting for JSU this year and really been behind JSU, what they're doing. But I do want to say a couple things about the West and how it shook out today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, I know that SU and Grambling wasn't really much of a contest. But what I will say, man, I think when you look back on this season for the West, I mean, congratulations first off to UAPB. But I think that Southern going to look back, man, I think they really missed their opportunity to win a championship this season.
That's real.
I think they're going to look back on that UAPB game, man, and it's going to come back and bite them because it only gets tough from here. You know, they got Alcorn coming to the conference. Of course, you know, PB will be the defending Swac West champions, at least from what we know this season. We'll see what they do in the Swac championship game. But I think at some point, man, you know, we have to look at Southern. And I think, you know, I have a lot of friends that go to Southern, man.
Mm-hmm.
They always been chattering over the last couple of years about, man, is Oldham going to get us to the promised land again? I've been there since 2013. And my question, I guess, for you would be like, you know, from that standpoint, is Oldham, you know, going to be that guy going forward where you look at him and say, well, yeah, he got some wins, but folks are looking at championships and saying, you know, he's a championship or bust for them kind of moving forward. They've had the expectation. Facts-wise, they were the Swac West preseason champions. They were picked to be the champions this season. So, you know, I think it's kind of a letdown. And then the second thing I want to say, man, is I think for AAMU, I hear a lot of chatter about Alabama A&M. I'm going to come over here with the smoke. I like the team. I just feel like, you know, they get out of this season. Of course, they have the quarterback. There's no, I'm not going to debate that. He's a hell of a quarterback. I think he deserves to be in the NFL. I really do.
Okay.
He's that good. With that being said, man, I feel like, you know, people going to look at, even if AMU does win the championship this spring, this is not me saying how to sour grapes. I feel like people going to be like, prove it in the fall when they have the actual Floridas that come through, when JSU's at their full peak, when Alabama, you know, gets medals back. I know that was a huge loss for them, but I think people are going to look at it like how, you know, they look like how people look at the Lakers when they won a championship in that bubble. They're going to be like, well, AMU, they were all 4 months. They had time to rest. They had time to look at people's tapes. They had time to really scout, get this thing right, and they capitalized. I think they're more opportunistic than good. I think that the quarterback is legit. I just want to see what they do when everybody's kind of in the mix in the fall. So that's just my 2 cents on that, man. It's my bold statements, my bold takes again.
Hold on. I can't let you just say that and get off this without a little clap back.
Oh, no. Of course. I'm finished. I'm finished, brother. I'll just wrap it up on my end.
With the okay, no, I appreciate the call. So with the Coach Odom's thing, right? This is my thing. He's like Michigan, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And what I mean by that is, and there's no disrespect to no Southern fans out here, so I don't want them taking it as disrespect. What I'm saying is it wrong for him to be 9-2 every year?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, is it wrong for him to be relevant but never win the big game? Because if you get somebody else in there and they don't do the same thing Coach Odom is, now you're looking back and like, dang, you know, I wish Coach Odom was, because before Michigan gets there, if Michigan gets to the big game, or if they never get to the big game, they're still 10-2, 9-2. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're still relevant. Mm-hmm. So is it wrong that Coach Odoms makes them relevant but probably doesn't win the big game? Not every coach does. You know what I'm saying? That's why that's why those coaches are special, and that's why those coaches, you know, get taken. But I don't think it's wrong to just being good, even if because that gives you a shot. That gives you a shot to win. If you have Coach Odoms, you know you're always in contention. You know what I'm saying? You're just always in contention.
Right.
So that's my thing with Coach Odoms. I don't see that I would let him go unless he went on like a straight slump where he like 4-6 and 2-7.
Right.
You know, like back to back. You know, oh yeah, I need to make a change. But
absolutely, I totally agree with that, brother. Like I said before, I think Odoms is a great coach. He's a between the lines coach as far as his style, you know, his demeanor in the locker room. Definitely a locker room guy. Those guys, you can tell how they play. They would run through a brick wall for that man.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying from the standpoint of, man, like, I see your point. You know, I think he's a tremendous coach. I don't think he deserves to lose his job at all. I'm saying, like, at some point, though, you have to break through. You have to get to that next tier where it's like, you know, all right, you know, we're a game away. We got to get over that game eventually, man. And you know how this business and college football works, man. You know, unfortunately, as much as I don't want to say it, you do have those situations where guys get greedy, especially with a traditional school like Southern, who's used to winning championships like that, man. I mean, from the Stoop days to, way back in the 90s when Southern was doing their thing, it's just a lot of pressure on a guy like Odoms who hasn't done it in several years to get back there for that school. And it's like, you know, Michigan and to your Michigan comparison,
yeah,
you know, it's tough for Harbaugh, man, because he's a hell of a coach, but he's just in a situation where the program has died off for that decade.
No,
he's trying to come back.
But he's also in a situation to where his talent. Oh, you got to see Ohio State every year. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
and Coach Odoms has to run into Alcorn every year. You know, it's like it's just not. It just hasn't gone his way. But to say that, listen, that's like me being a Cowboys fan and being mad if we got to the NFC Championship area and didn't get to the Super Bowl. Like, bro, I'm happy. You're relevant. You're relevant. You know how many? You know, Mississippi Valley State would love to have a Coach Odoms. Texas Southern would love to have a Coach Odoms. You see what I'm saying? Like, people are getting it. I don't want Southern fans to get enamored with new toys because they see Dion coming in. They see, you know, Eddie George going. They be like, you know, maybe no. You got listen. Coach Odoms over there is building a foundation. He's building a culture, and to me, that's the kind of stuff you want because at the end of the day, you know what he's going to bring. You give Coach Odoms a quarterback, Quincy Casey, and I promise you, he'll break through. He will break through.
We'll see, man. I'm like I said, I want to see, you know, Southern do good things, man. But I think the fan base, like I said, I know a lot of them. I know they're not really as enamored with Odom's success. And sometimes there's a greedy fans getting used to, like just like Jay State. I'll be the first one to admit, like we try to get back to those 80 glory days, man. So you know, seeing the team kind of fall off the way it did after Kamaji stepped down. And I got fired. All right, let's get that correct. He got fired. You know, we get greedy, and it's like I think Jay State. That's what happened to them pre Dion. That's why they were in a coaching, you know, on a coaching carousel with trying to get it right. But just like I said, I think just the same thing as Jay State and also LSU, their playmaker away from going to that next tier, man. But that's why I made the point. I just feel like, you know, this season was perfect for them, man, because, you know, they didn't have to worry about Alcorn. I felt like this division was there to lose type deal.
That's real.
And, you know, I just feel like they just came up a little short, man. And I think for the fans' point, man, I see what you're saying, man, but I'd rather home, man. You don't have an Alcorn your way. The West is yours. I mean, no disrespect to UAPB, because I think UAPB is a great team. But when you look at what they were supposed to be this year, what they were supposed to get done, this is a testament to the Swac and how tough it is. Just any given Saturday or Sunday, bro. But I just feel like, man, they're gonna look back on this moment and be like, man, that was our window. And because you never know in the fall, man. It could be Alcorn, could be PV, could be, you know, that West is loaded, man. I think the East is gonna be a bloodbath, man, because you got the Alabamas, you got FAMU and BCU coming in, and then, you know, Dion's going to be doing this thing at Jackson State. So, I mean, we're going to see. But I think it's going to be one of those situations where next year, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if the SWAC West and SWAC East winners have 2 SWAC losses apiece in the conference because it's just going to be that tough. So,
that's real.
I wish it was the best. But, I mean, I'm just, like I said, no hate, bro. It's all fact.
No, you good. You good.
Yeah, like I said, when I talk SWAC football, man, I present facts. Like, you know, hey, Jay, that, you know, SU was on as on JSU for the last 8-7 years. So it is what it is. But I know those folks are about championships over there, man. It's just, I'm glad we're having this conversation because I feel like from the fans, man, we can get so caught in the moment of our team's success and we get greedy that, you know, to your point, you know, like you said, Valley would love to have it, Texas Southern would love to have it. I think those programs are a great coach and a good culture away from being good.
Hey, but appreciate the call, my guy.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Hey, you live.
What's good, brother?
Hey, what's good? What's good with you?
Man, nothing much, man. I want to call in on the one of the previous callers called in regarding the Southern and them, you know, not getting over the hump. So a lot of people that don't follow the program close don't really know what's going on. So, you know, Southern has 5 new coaches on staff, and Odom's made some adjustments. You know, as far as on the offensive side, you can start there. So he brought in He brought in this year. He brought in 5 new coaches on the offense staff. He brought in a new OC from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And look, a lot of people talk about, you know, Dion and the NFL experience he had on his staff, but Southern has a ton. You know, he brought in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive analysis. He was an analysis with the Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
He called the scout team play call. So the guy, you know, he came to Southern and he brought in a O-line coach from Oklahoma. He was a GA with them, and he was highly impressed with him. So he brought him in. He brought a good receivers coach in, and man, he's building a strong offensive staff. Now, this is the thing a lot of people don't understand. I know people see Southern want to run the ball, and they do. They want to run the ball, but this new offensive coordinator that we have, it's kind of funny that you brought up Quincy Casey. He's actually what he's doing with his offense. He's making his offense around the strength of his players. So he's doing a lot of QB power. He's doing a lot of, you know, running plays because that's what fit his skill set.
Facts.
But he's building. If you go back and if you go and you look at what Southern recently added, they added a 4-star receiver from Auburn. They added a 3-star receiver from Tulane. They got another 3-star receiver that's sitting out right now. So man, they got some dogs coming at receiver. He's transforming the offense to a more of a balanced approach in the passing game, but it's still going to have that running game. So from the people that's looking outside and looking in, don't really understand what's getting built because something is winning. So, but in the process of winning, they still building. So what you see right now, you may not see in the fall. Actually, Skelton might not be the starting quarterback in the fall. Skelton actually might be a receiver. So there's things, you know, Bubba McDaniel is a quarterback potentially that may be the start. He actually went in to the game today and went 1-for-1. He threw a pass, but he was injured. But he threw a pass, and it was almost a touchdown, but the tight end actually stepped out of bounds. But he actually more than likely is going to be Southern starter, or it may be Ladarius Skelton. We don't know, but we do know the offense is going to change to more of a passing and running. But you know, to that caller's comment, you know, Southern is building. Now, you switch to the defense. Southern's defensive coordinator is Lionel Washington. Look him up. He actually coached Nnamdi Asomugha at Oakland when he was in Oakland, and he was actually DB's coach with the Green Bay Packers under Don Capers.
Okay.
So he left. Yeah, so he left Green Bay, moved back home, and took the DC job at Southern. Now, he's a defensive coordinator. He actually brought in his homeboy, Rollins, who was the defensive coordinator at University of Texas San Antonio last year. He got let go. Well, the head coach got let go at UTSA. So now this guy is on Southern's defensive staff. So you have 2 DCs, one that coached at a P5 last year that's a position coach at Southern. Southern has a very, very, very strong staff. And all these guys are fairly new to the program. And people talk about, well, you know, Dion got all these new coaches. Southern has a ton of new coaches too, and look what they did. So it just speaks volumes to the type of coaching. Now you give these cats a whole summer to look at their personnel. They build on what they got. So I'm just telling everybody right now. I know everybody talk about FAMU, and FAMU is a good team. That's actually one of Southern's biggest rivals. Them and Jackson, Grambling, FAMU, and Southern. I mean, Grambling, FAMU, and Jackson State are Southern's 3 biggest rivals. So, you know, it's going to be an interesting fall, man. Southern is going to be hell. I know they struggled with Alcorn in the past, but like I say, Odom's made the necessary adjustments in his coaching staff, and I think what he has now will be able to come in and potentially, I honestly think they can beat Alcorn in the fall.
This is my thing. And I appreciate you, Mr. Rubin, for calling in and dropping us with the SU knowledge. My thing is this though. How I feel as though Southern they're there, right? Because if you really think about it, I didn't watch the game with UAPB, so I can't tell you how that game went. But to only lose to them by 3, and then the rest of your opponents, you won decisively. I just feel like they're growing. They're growing into the team that they want to be now, and this is without consistent quarterback play. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Skelton is a amazing runner. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he's limited in what he can do as an actual quarterback. But to me, building the way Southern has built their team, it's a problem. And it's a good problem. I'm not saying that it's a because if you build your team inside out like Southern has done, you can always find skill players. You can always find. I mean, it's nothing to find a skill player. They're a dime a dozen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they fall from trees, but the linemen, shh. Listen,
man. Let me tell you. So Southern is located in South Louisiana. Anybody that knows football or recruiting knows South Louisiana is loaded with talent. I'm gonna drop some nuggets on it to blow your mind. The Ethan Howard kid that played tight end for Southern, he's a walk-on. That kid Sims that played running back for Southern, he's a walk-on. Man, half of Southern skill players are walk-ons, but what they do, they put emphasis in the trenches because ultimately at the end of the day, it's gonna win games. If you're in South Louisiana, you look at South Louisiana, you're gonna get athletes. You should be able to get them to walk on. And Southern is doing a great job at it. Now, like I said, man, that UAPB game, I'm gonna be honest, man. The team came in, and I trust me on this. They came in, they wasn't locked in. Like Odom's like use the term, you got to be locked in. The team was not locked in on that game. We was actually down, I want to say, by like 24 points at halftime. And they came out the second half locked in. They was like, oh man, we win a ball game. So they came and held Pine Bluff to 3 points in the second half. But again, you gotta treat every opponent with some respect, and they did. They walked into that UAPB game and didn't take them serious. You know, Southern beat Pine Bluff the last 9 times in a row. It's not a rival game. They just walked in there like, you know, we're gonna blow these people up. Didn't know that Skylar Perry was gonna be the quarterback he was gonna be. So the kid, you know, Perry had grown up big time. He wasn't that quarterback last year that he is today. So he shocked Southern. But I promise you, and I know UAPB fans will disagree, rightfully so. But if Southern and UAPB play today, Southern win by 20. Easily. But, you know, they'll disagree, but tell them we'll see them in Pine Bluff. And they also scheduled us for homecoming, too. So we circled that one on the calendar.
He said, hey, don't get too happy about that homecoming. He said, don't drink too much. Don't drink too much.
Hey, that's disrespect. You're going to schedule us for homecoming? Okay. So, you know, man, but like I say, to the caller's point, man, Southern actually made some good hires, man. The OC we have, he's really good. So you give him time. Now he knows his personnel. I'm sure he's going to write some more stuff up during the summer and get his playbook even thicker. And I think Southern going to be a problem, man. Like I say, we have some dogs that's sitting out. And the Swac, you just need to watch out, man. It's gonna be a movie in the fall. I already know.
Appreciate the call.
But I'm gonna hang up, brother. All right.
Ooh-wee. Boy, this getting good in the neighborhood. Hey, what's good? You live?
What's up, man?
What's up, Coach Green? What's good? Talk to me.
Man, that game was good in the first half. Second half, once Nettle was gone, like you said, it wasn't the same game no more. Then that block punt was big.
Yeah.
Man, because it looked like it was going to be a shootout at first, man. But, because I thought it was going to come down to who going to make the first mistake on defense. Because Glass once he get his rhythm, he's going to shred the defense up regardless. And Nettle ain't that bad itself.
No, Nettle's is the truth.
I thought it was going to go somewhere.
What's up?
What you about to say?
I said Nettles is the truth. For a freshman, he's the truth.
They needed him, man.
Badly.
But I say this though. The Swac East and the Swac West gonna be something to watch this fall.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
They're gonna be something to watch because I know Bethune-Cookman gonna be coming in with some players. Fam, you're gonna be coming in with some players. You know, Jackson State, you know, got they big time recruiting class. They got their 30 players they bringing in, and Alabama A&M still gonna be them, the best receivers in the Swac.
And I'm gonna say this: A&M is favored to win with that offense.
Offense doesn't win championships.
Yeah, you're right, but nobody in the SWAC right now showed me that they got a good defense. Nobody in the SWAC showed me they got a good defense yet. So as long as Glass is in there and nobody's defense pick up,
Time out.
it's gonna be tough.
Time out. Did you really just say that? And did you not just see Alabama State?
No, you're gonna keep them down for so long.
Listen,
You know, keep Glass down.
No. See, Coach Green, you always come in here talking some foolishness, man. Always coming in here. I'll be rocking with you, then you always come with some foolishness at the end.
Hey, I'm just looking at. I'm watching it, bro. Your defense only can do so much.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened, man. Since you coach basketball, so I'm gonna just you over here. Listen.
Hey, I may coach basketball, but I love football. I grew up a Saints fan, grew up a Southern fan.
See, that's your problem right there. That's your problem right there. You weren't even watching real football. You was watching them when they were the Aints. Anyway, let me.
No. I watched the Saints from when they was 2 cheese until they won a championship.
Like I said, you don't know football.
I've been riding with them until they won their first championship.
Like I said, listen, this is what you saw, right? You saw a defensive team that came to play the first half. But once their quarterback went down, it deflated their sails because you, in the back of your mind as a defensive player, there's only so much you can do to be like, okay, it's our game.
All right. Mm-hmm.
So,
okay. I'm going to say this, though. If they mental ain't that great, they ain't that great of a defense then. If they couldn't sit there and take up the slack for their offense.
No. They held on as much as they could. But at the end of the day, I don't care how good you are. If you cannot score points, bro, what are we doing?
Dude, if your defense is really good, your defense can hold it down. Baltimore Ravens. Alabama.
How many Hall of Famers on that team? How many Hall of Famers are on that team? Don't hit me with that.
You right.
Don't hit me with that. How many 5-stars are on that team? Don't hit me with that.
I don't like to use that, but because they pros. But I'm just saying. I'll use Alabama then.
Come on, man. We're talking about college. We're talking about SWAC college football, and they have studs on that D line. They got studs in the secondary. They were picking on 27 all night. What I'm saying is at the end of the day, that game with Ryan Nettles is not 38-14. That game is like 27-21, 27-24.
No.
Yes,
it was going to be. I'm going to tell you what it would have been. If Nettles would have finished, it would have been 21-38.
No, it wouldn't have been. Goodbye, Mr. Green.
Hell yeah, it would have been. Hell yeah, it would have been.
No, it wouldn't. Not even close. Not even close. Hey, caller, you live.
Yeah, man. I think Bethune-Cookman got what it takes. They've been bringing in some boys for the next year. I'm looking at some of the recruits they got. I'm a fan of Southern University. But I've been watching them. I actually went out to see when they practiced this week, and a few of them last week. But I really think they might take it out next year.
Bethune-Cookman?
Yeah, man. They quarterback looking real nice. They look real sound. They look real clean when I went and saw them practice. I've been trying to get over to a few of the different campuses, but all of the practices I've been to, I think I want to say that Bethune-Cookman look the sharpest right now. I think they got a good chance of doing something in SWAC next year.
Okay.
Next year in the fall.
So how do they look the sharpest if you haven't seen them play?
You said what?
How can they be the sharpest if they're not playing right now?
No, I said they're looking the sharpest in practice. I've been going over to a lot of the different universities, just watching them weekly.
Practice?
But they looking
practice. We're not talking about a game. We talking about practice, man.
Yeah.
Practice. Not a game.
Practice.
Not a game. Practice.
Yeah.
Come on, man. What we doing?
Hey, man, they gonna take it home, man. I'm telling you. I was looking at who they bringing in. I was looking at, the upcoming roster. They got some transfers coming in. I've been looking at who they got transferring in, and I think they're gonna be the ones to take it. Man.
Against who? They've been playing themselves. What are you talking about?
You said who they playing?
They playing themselves.
No, I'm talking about in the fall when they play the season. I think they're gonna take it.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm telling you is you're talking about a team that's practicing against themselves.
Yeah.
And you don't see nothing wrong with your assessment.
Yeah. Yeah, man, they're gonna take it, man. Go on in the house, make you some red beans and rice, man. They're gonna take it.
Man, if you don't get off my line with this foolishness, man, y'all boy, listen. Y'all boy. What is we doing? Like, come on, my guy. Yeah, they're gonna take it. Who have they played? They're practicing. They're practicing really hard. They're practicing so hard, I didn't even see the quarterback drink Gatorade after he threw a touchdown. Can you believe it? Man, get out of here. Hey, caller, you live.
What's going on, bro?
Just good. Talk to me.
Man, I was listening to some of the comments, man, about the Magic City Classic. No, don't get me wrong, man. Alabama State is definitely a better football team than what we saw tonight. Of course, with their quarterback going down, but Alabama A&M still win, man, even if he stay on the field. I mean, it's a closer game, but Nettles, I wouldn't put my money on Nettles, man, to outplay Glad.
Okay, no so let me roll back up here to one of my comments because somebody said it perfectly. Here we go, right here. It said with Nettles, I believe they would have played better ball control and kept Glass off the field. That's the answer to the game right there. If the less opportunity Glass has, the more opportunities you have to win. So with Ryan Nettles and Ezra and Merritt, what they're going to do is they're going to dink and dunk you, and they're going to short gain you so much that it's so frustrating that you barely have time to do anything in the quarter. They'll take up 10 minutes out of a 20-minute quarter, or they'll take up 12 minutes out of a 20-minute quarter, and then you leave Glass with 5 minutes to do something, and the defense been well rested. They come on the field, they get a stop. That's literally what the first half was all about.
Well, but I mean, and that's part true. That backup quarterback, I mean, he has to control the ball, especially well. They just hit the ball in the end zone, but that doesn't take away from A&M's game plan. Because even with Alabama State's defense being rested, their game plan and the guys that they were attacking, they was going to be vulnerable regardless. So I don't think that they keep A&M on the board, because every time A&M got up on the board, for the most part, man, they was getting in the end zone. So even if you cut down the number of times that they touched the football field, man, their percentages of getting in the end zone, man, was still extremely high. And I think that it would have came down to basically Nettles having to outplay Glass, or should I say Alabama State offense having to outplay Alabama A&M's offense.
No, see, you're looking at it the wrong way.
Alabama State defense would have been able to hold up.
You're looking at it the wrong way. You're looking at it as a quarterback against quarterback. I'm not looking at it like that. I'm looking at it as Nettles against Alabama A&M's defense. And their defense isn't all world. So why wouldn't Nettles be able to score? I saw a backup quarterback make passes that were like, oh, wow, okay. You know what I'm saying? So Ryan Nettles is going to definitely make those same passes. So you're looking at it the wrong way. You're looking at it as like, oh, Glass had the harder time because the defense he's going against is better. Just flat out better than his own. So the end of the day
that's the truth. The defense is better, but the game plan A&M had going into the game was exposing them so bad, man, until Alabama State didn't even look like the same defense.
How were they getting exposed?
But your quarterback on both teams drives your offense. That's the brains of your offense. So in essence, it is quarterback going against quarterback, man. And I think that Alabama State plays better ball and they put up more points. But ultimately, as an offense, as a whole, they're not going to outscore Alabama A&M, man. They're just not going to do it.
How did Alabama State get exposed?
Do it now?
How did Alabama State get exposed?
Oh man, dude, they had a record night, man, against number 27, that true freshman. So even if they fresh, man, they all they did was basically load. They put receivers all over the place, man, so they couldn't double up to give 27 help. No, and they exposed him. He was young, he was inexperienced, and they put that pressure on him. That's smart. So when you put all the wide receivers out there, man, it determines how you work across the top in terms of how you get able to cover. And they just can't cover all them guys.
Listen, I'll give you 50% of what you said, right? And the reason I say that is because yes, you're absolutely right. Them picking on 27 was a smart play. That's what they did. But it's no different than what Alabama always does. Alabama A&M always does that. They always spread you out because they have so many studs at wide receiver. That's their game plan going into any game. Any game.
And nobody's been stop them. And nobody's been able to stop them. And then you got to keep in mind now, A&M ain't played. A&M, even before A&M played against Jackson State, they went, 3-4 weeks without even playing before they even stepped on the field with Jackson State. Granted, they was a better team than Jackson State, but Jackson State had 4 games up on them. So you're looking at an Alabama A&M team that's only touched the field really 3 times, man, and they making these defenses look poor.
You don't listen. If I'm being honest, their personnel doesn't fit most teams. And it's true. They just don't have, most defenses don't have the personnel to keep up with them. They have legit 3 number 1 receivers. Legit. 2 for sure. With Zay and Abdul-Abim. That's their 2 number 1s. And then you add Juice, and then, well, he's not really a number 1. He's like a slot guy anyway. But then you got O'Hare, and then you got the tight end. Like, it's just too many people. But if Coach Maynard is doing what he's supposed to do, he's just making mismatches everywhere on the field. So Akil Glass just finds the mismatch. It's not hard. I'm not taking nothing away from Glass. I'm not taking nothing away from Glass.
If Nettles plays, it's a better football game. But because of everything that you just explained, man, I'm telling you, it's tough, bro. Because defense do win championships. But at the end of the day, the name of the game is the team that wins got to have 1 more point than the other. So 90% of the time, defense wins championships. They all have, especially here lately, the way offense is being ran now, you ain't got to have a strong defense, man, to win a championship. And right now, that's just the strength of their game.
Listen.
And I don't think Nettles makes the game better. But at the end of the day, that secondary is not going to hold up.
No, let me tell you. Because at the end of the day, what you're taking away from Nettles is the fact that the passing game became non-existent when the backup got in the game. That's it. So you're taking away a whole facet of a game now that Alabama defense does not have to worry about. So once again, I'm going to say this. Ryan Nettles being in that game would have made it differently. Period.
The game better, but A&M still beat him by 2 scores.
Nah, doubt it. Definitely doubt it. But appreciate the call, my guy.
All right, take care, bro. I appreciate what you're doing, man.
Sorry about that. I thought he was. Hey, caller, you live.
Hey, how you doing, man?
What's good? Talk to me.
Hey, I've been calling in, but I don't even have your name.
Scott.
Okay, Scott. This Pep again.
Oh my God, look, Pep. Listen, don't bring that foolishness up in here, Pep, because I'm gonna shut you down. I got time today.
Oh, okay. Look, you said Southern. I hear Southern. I hear the guy, the last call he said about Southern University. Well, Southern University, they would have been in the championship game this year if the head coach hadn't to pull the quarterback. Now, the boy did get a personal foul, but that team in Southern is built around that quarterback, what that quarterback can do and everything. And and when they took him out, the other quarterback that came in the game threw 3 interceptions. So it's like every year Southern is I mean they reach the mountain, but they never go over the mountain. And Southern is they recruit. I mean they don't recruit New Orleans. They don't. They don't recruit New Orleans. You can ask any school in New Orleans or around the area, and they don't recruit them. All right. Now, I know the last time I talked to you last time I talked on the phone with you, you said you're gonna give me a credit card. I'm an old guy. Yeah, I'm old enough to be your granddaddy. I've been in this game for 40 years, and in 40 years, I've produced 4 NFL players, the fastest guy in the major league, an Olympic gold medalist. I got 2 kids right now at Southern. I got 1 kid at Alcorn. And I got 1 that's still in the NFL this year. And I noticed that when somebody called and they talk about Jackson State, I didn't go to school at Jackson State, right? But I know in my lifetime what I want to see happen. I want to see a school in the HBCU play one of these schools in a Power 5 conference and be successful. And the thing right now, the school that I feel, even though I didn't go to Jackson, the reason I feel this way is because Jackson is recruiting against Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Southern Miss. Now, these are schools that's got a bad reputation throughout history for dealing with our kind of people. So I feel that Jackson has a better chance at recruiting in that state and bringing in the type of players that can make this happen. You know, so to be honest with you, my son was up for the head coaching job at Jackson, and Jackson, they didn't really have a job search for the team. They didn't have a job, just like Tennessee. Tennessee ain't had a job search for that job. They just picked somebody with a good reputation. Now, even though Dion don't have that much coaching experience, I got to throw my hand in with him, because this is the train that we gonna ride in, because this school has the best chance to accomplish what I want to see accomplished.
Is there a question coming, Mr. Pep?
No, I'm waiting for you to reply.
You just rambling. What you want me to reply to?
I want you to tell me what you think, because I know you haven't bought in. You haven't bought in on this on what Dion is selling.
That's not necessarily true. All right. So let me say this. All right, because I'll let you go. I'll let you go for a long time. All right. So let me kind of touch around this thing for a little minute. Like I said, I like what Dion is bringing when it comes to his aura, exposure, all that type of stuff to the Swac. Awesome. One of a kind, right? My second thing is, I like that he's bringing the talent that he's bringing, right? My issue is people like you who think because you get 4, 3, 5 stars that brings in other 4 or 5-star recruits. That's not how that works. 4 and 5-star recruits, all they want to know is 2 things. 1, what can you give them? And 2, can I go to the pros if I come here? That's why a lot of players don't mind sitting behind other players at Alabama, because they know it's a factory to get to the pros. So I don't mind sitting behind Derrick Henry. I don't mind sitting behind Jalen Hurts. I don't mind sitting behind Julio Jones. I don't mind sitting behind, Patrick Surtain, because I know once I get my opportunity and I get the spotlight, even being a backup player at Alabama is going to give me buzz, because of the simple fact is I'm at Alabama. My thing with you and people from Jackson State, all I'm telling you is Shedeur is not the answer to your prayers. It doesn't matter if Dion brought in a 2-star quarterback. If you win
I'm not from Jackson State.
Stop it. I'll let you go. My thing is this. If you bring in a 2-star, 1-star, no star, all you have to do is win with prime time. The recruiting is going to take care of itself. People love winners. People want to be around winners. It's just that simple. You don't need all the glitz and glamour. Just get wins. Dion's name plus bringing in talent, if it equals wins, Dion will not have to sell anything to anybody. And all Dion has to do is get 2 or 3 players in his program to go into the draft and get picked up. And then it's going to be a wheel that gets the rolling. But go ahead now, you can go.
Okay. I mean, it's okay that Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, LSU, it's okay if they get these high-rated players. Let's don't call them stars. We just call them high-rated players. It's okay if they bring them in. What we're trying to do is let those high-rated players know that, hey, they playing football here also. You know, we have a team at Alcorn. We have a team at Southern. We have a team at Jackson State. We'll be glad to have you here too. We want you to be a part of this. But don't think that these guys not sitting out there looking at how these guys have been treated. You know, if we're gonna make a movement to I'm gonna give you a prime example. Ole Miss bought in maybe $135 million off of football. Mississippi State brought in another $135 million off of football. LSU brought in maybe almost $200 million. Alabama almost another $200 million. And they bought this money in on top-rate athletes that we should have a part of. I'm just saying that these guys the same thing that's keeping these programs going is the same kind of thing that we need to keep our program going.
Listen. This is my thing, right? And Mr. Pep, I understand what you're saying, but at some point in time, your dream and reality have to come together some way. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, players, it's hard. I don't care what you want to talk about. Oh, we play football here. Players are not looking at that. All right? It's just that simple. Players are not looking at it like that. They're looking at it, can I go to the pros? What type of facilities do you have? Are your jerseys dope? Do I like your coat? All this comes into play when you're recruiting. It's not just simply, oh, we play football down here too, because if you compare what Jackson State gets compared to what Alabama gets, if you compare what Alcorn gets compared to a Clemson, it don't make no sense for me to go to Alcorn unless it's a personal thing for me that I want to bring back to the Black community. My mama went there, my dad went there, something like that. Other than that, it doesn't make sense.
You nailed it, man. You nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it.
Thank you. Gotta let you go, Mr. Pep.
And let me show you why you nailed it.
Go ahead.
Let me show you why you nailed it. Because see these guys, these high-rated football players that go to Alabama. Come on, let me just say this right here. The high-rated football players that go to Alabama, that go to LSU, when they go to NFL, they become boosters. They become boosters. So I might have one player from school, say like Mississippi Valley. They got one booster, Jerry Rice. So we need more than just one booster. We need these kids to go to the NFL, become boosters to these programs. And that's how these programs going to build up. Don't you think that these boys is going to NFL is giving money back to Ellis? You got to hold that blame locker room donated to them from the previous football players.
Don't you think Shaquille O'Neal and them donating money to these schools?
Mr. Pep, let me talk to you real quick. I agree with you, right? But don't look at it like that. You should look at it more or less like, why aren't they willing to do more? Why aren't they willing to do more for their own? That's what it is. Like, why aren't you willing to give more? This is what you gotta look at too, right? If I'm a young black man coming out the poor, whatever, coming from a single parent household, 2-parent household, I go to LSU, I ball out at LSU, I go out to the NFL, I feel indebted to LSU. LSU gave me a shot, LSU gave me a chance. Why will I not give back to LSU? You see what I'm saying? It's no different than most people who give back to their own schools. They gave me a chance, they brought me in, I played there, I love it, whoop-de-whoop, all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, Mr. Pep, it's all different. It's all perspective. I appreciate the call. I got too many callers on hold. Thank you. Okay. Hey, caller, you live.
Thank you. What up, Script?
What's good? Talk to me.
Let's talk this Swac championship May 1st. What's happening?
Y'all losing?
Who losing? Who you rooting for?
Y'all losing. Listen. I saw all I needed to see was Skylar in the Alabama State game.
Alabama State lost to A&M. They ain't making it. We playing against Glass.
I know. I said I saw what I needed to see.
Put Glass on his. You know what? On his butt. You know? Defense. Glass got to play against that defense.
What defense? Y'all gave up what? 30 points to? What are you talking about? What defense?
Oh, we gave up a couple points today. But,
a couple points? It was like in the 30s. What are you talking about?
Turnovers too.
What defense you talking about? Because y'all gave up 30 against Southern. You gave up, I think you gave up what, 7 against Grambling. You gave up 30 against PV. What are we talking about? What defense?
The A&M ain't got no defense either.
That's not what we talking about though. You said your defense.
The Bulldogs versus the Golden Lions.
Well, what is a Golden Lion anyway? What is a Golden Lion anyway?
Lions is the king of the jungle, you know? King of the Swac.
Nah, man. Real talk though. I hope it's a good game. I really do. I hope it's a good game. I don't see. Once again, listen.
Who the best quarterback in the Swac is in the spring? You hear me? Glass got 5 years in.
I'll tell you right now.
Junior.
I'll put $100 on it says Alabama and beat y'all.
Oh man, you bet me about 4 touchdowns today. We had 5.
We didn't put money on it though.
Nah, I mean, you trying to put money on it?
I'm talking about. I put money on it that says Alabama and them would beat y'all. $100. Put $100 on it right now.
Oh, bro, you trying to make me come out of my pockets?
If you so confident, you coming up here calling, oh, we're gonna put Glass on his ass. Put your money where your mouth is.
Hey, ain't nothing. I tipped you a couple dollars today. You heard me?
I'm gonna give them right back to you. I'm gonna give them right back to you if you need it to make the bet.
The Lion King, baby.
Oh man. Talk to me.
Man, we going for it. 100.
We good? All right, you got I got your number. You got my number. We'll link it up.
That's a shake, a handshake. You hear me?
Hey, it's everything I do is on wax, baby. It ain't nothing. Everything I do is on wax. You know what I'm saying? That's how I get down.
UAPB versus AAM. You hear me?
Yeah, too easy.
May 1st.
May 1st. Yeah. Hey, listen. Once I get that $100 from you,
best quarterback.
Once I get that $100 from you, my son's birthday is May 5th. I'm gonna just thank you for his present. Once you give me that $100, I'm gonna say thank you for buying my son his birthday present. That's what I'm gonna tell you.
You got it. You got it. You don't see where you put your money where your mouth is. You hear me?
Too easy. All right, man. Appreciate the call.
Peace.
Right, hey, caller, you live.
Hey, bro, this is Jerome Brooks. How you doing, man?
What's up, Jay?
Hey, man. So great conversation that you've had with the last couple of callers. I did want to kind of disagree to an extent when you were, referring to, I guess, a lot of these brothers who have gone to PWIs, feeling indebted to that institution, because over the last couple of years, we've actually seen Chris Paul, we've seen LeBron, of course, we got Coach Prime, we got Eddie George. We have quite a few black folks who have been in the professional realm who went to PWIs, who are looking at it from a different standpoint now, and they're like standing back and saying, "Hey, we've been doing it wrong." Especially with all the social justice that's been going on, we're beginning to see the tide kind of turn. And it's not necessarily, just from the corporate level and all that. We are seeing more professional black athletes using their platforms and their spaces to not only promote black colleges, but also to coach at black colleges. And here's my thing. I think Jackson State has kind of been like a prototype, if you will, to show America that you may not have the facilities that some of the top FCS programs have, or the top FBS programs have. But like you mentioned, it's kind of a perception based on the actual student athlete. Because in the past, HBCUs, we've had to fight against black parents who are brainwashed, to tell their kids, hey, don't go to that black school, go to this white school because it's better.
Facts.
You got a better chance of getting recruited from this white school compared to this black school.
Facts.
Knowing that wasn't necessarily true. A lot of the facilities that we see were built on the backs of all these black athletes bringing in all this revenue. But now we're kind of seeing the perception starting to change. And a lot of it, yes, it has to do with a lot of the social implications that are going on in society today. Of course, we had Trump, making outrageous comments and things like that. But I'm so glad that now we're seeing these brothers like a Coach Prime or whomever to put these black colleges on the map and to give them some type of platform to say, hey, you can still come here and still get recruited, not necessarily recruited, but actually, go to the NFL or whatever your aspirations are. So my point is, I feel like if more black colleges take the stance of a Tennessee State or a Jackson State with recruiting some headline top black former professional athletes to have a big name, we don't need to do what those white schools did. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can actually do this on our own, because that's what black people have been preaching about for so long. Hey, support black businesses, support black colleges. All we need is so-and-so to come in and save our schools per se. But we don't necessarily, right now, it's been proven that we don't need those top facilities to actually gain what we've been trying to gain. All we need is, a Coach Prime or the brother at Tennessee State to get it done. And I'm beginning to see that trend, which hopefully will translate into, of course, those more players coming to our schools and revenue and whatnot. But just kind of want to your thoughts on that. Like, do you really feel like we still got to battle those perceptions if we have those headline brothers in place at our schools?
Listen, appreciate the callback. This is my thing. First of all, when it came to my statement of them feeling indebted to the PWI, is just simply saying, like, yeah, it's like if anybody helps you out, you feel like you should give back. You see what I'm saying? So it's like that's all they're looking. I'm not saying they have to, they're forced to. It's just like, hey, I wouldn't be here if I didn't go to LSU or whatever, whoop-de-whoop, however they might feel, so they get back. My thing is this: if winning changes everything, and then on top of winning, can you prove to recruits that you send people to the NFL? Because at the end of the day, 5-star recruits, no matter what you offering them, they want to go to the next level. Most kids do. So if you can't show me where you've been sending players into the NFL, they're not going to go 9 times out of 10. That's just what it is. That's what I'm saying. That's why kids don't mind going to places like Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State. They're factories. They are legit factories. They bring you in, they get you right, and you go to the NFL. It's just that simple. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round. I mean, it was times with Miami, all you had to do was wear a green and orange jersey and you was going to get drafted. You know what I'm saying? So it's you. If you're not.
So with that being said, is it really fair to compare the top black HBCU programs in the American Flag, which are all FCS, to the FBS programs, as opposed to comparing them, let's say, to a North Dakota State and so forth? I do know quite a few of those FCS programs are sending players to the NFL. But I mean, come on, man. A couple of years ago, 2019, Alabama State had a brother go in the first round. A&T, of course, had a couple of brothers go in the second round. Though we may not be producing them in bulk as we probably were in the past, I think we should kind of pivot the conversation to comparing, to I guess kind of stop comparing apples and oranges with the Swac compared to the BS.
No.
Though we are, our aspiration is to get those top players that Alabama, Clemson, and whatnot are getting. But I feel like in the grand scheme of things, I think like a Jackson State or Tennessee State, because, TSU is bringing them in now with top recruits. I think if we kind of take a step back and use our platform and our top Black professional athletes, we bring them in. Who wouldn't want to play for a Dion? Who wouldn't want to play for Eddie George? I feel like that's our selling point. But
you're making my point without making my point. If you bring in Eddie George and Dion, why are players going there? He's going to get me to the league. That's the end goal. All that other stuff is minute. It's all minute. All that. Listen. All that, because you sounding real professional now. You about to take the uncorporate side of me out, because you sounded professional, but you're not making any sense. Because at the end of the day, you're talking about Black colleges getting these Black professional athletes. The only reason kids are going there is because he's been there. He has the connections. He can get me to where I want to go. If I go play for a regular coach, Coach Odoms, and he tells me, yo, if you're good enough, they'll find you. I'm going to be like, bro, I don't want to be the exception to the rule. You've had one player get drafted, and I don't know this for a fact, so please don't get mad at me, Southern fans. You've had one person drafted in 5 years, so now I'll be the one magical person that goes? No, that's the reason why you're asking for Black professional athletes to go, is because then you have an opportunity to compete with the Nick Sabans, to get the top guys. Why? Because you're a professional athlete who went to the league.
No, that was my point. I think you're proving my point. You were basically stating that in order for us to compete, we need all these top-notch facilities and jerseys and whatnot. What I'm saying is we can do what money can't buy us right now. That's just my whole point. And when I say we, I'm talking about like a Jackson State or a Tennessee State, and the approach and the route that we took, as opposed to trying to garner all this revenue from upgrading our facilities. And let's be honest, let's talk about the elephant in the room with regards to these facilities. A lot of this stuff is not coming from boosters. A lot of this stuff is just basic economic, systematic racism by the states redistributing all these funds to these PWIs, whether it's FBS or FCS. Because if you look at the numbers when it comes to fundraising and all that, especially attendance, the Swac has led attendance in the last damn 30 years since the NCAA has been keeping track. So we got the revenue. They're not kicking our ass when it comes to revenue per state. What I'm saying is a lot of that revenue is coming from the state, from these racist state systems. So that's why we haven't been able to really compete as far as facilities. So what I'm saying is the avenue and the direction that a Jackson State or a Tennessee State is taking, we're showing all these racist-ass white people like, hey, we can do it on our own. So I'm saying the perception from some of these schools are shifting, and we're winning. The number one FCS class at FCS. Top 3 games on ESPN the last month. $19 million increase in marketability for Jackson State in the last 6 months. It's crazy numbers, but without all the, glitz and glamour that you mentioned regarding uniforms and, facilities. All you need is one good brother to come in and change the game. My point is, all we need is us. So we can kill all this noise about, raising money and all that, because that money, let's look at where the money is coming from. It's not coming from these quote-unquote boosters from these no-name FCS schools. Because quiet as kept, the Swac, we got a way bigger name than the North Dakota State or anybody else in the FCS. We're the Swac. So all I'm saying is if the rest of us collectively can use that same type of attitude and approach, we won't be able to get touched.
Let me say this, and I will agree with you on this. You're absolutely right. And it's something I said earlier on one of my live streams. I was like, it's chess, not checkers. Like, we as Black people can't control culture and then not want to sit at the table of it. We can't control every aspect of the 2 major most dominated sports in America and not control the money aspect of it. The league is 90% black. NBA is like 75% black. So it's not the problem is that there should be more emphasis on like you said, giving back to or funding black colleges. There, like I said, celebrities should be picking a school and funding it. I don't care. People say I'm stupid, crazy. Oprah should have a school. She wanna start a school in Africa. Girl, start a school here in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop playing me. Like, every Jay-Z Rock Nation should be supporting. Rich Paul Clutch Sports should have a school. Like, all these places that are black dominant should have schools. Like, stop playing with me. Like, it's Dr. Dre Beats should have a school. Like, everybody should be infiltrating that, because what you do is, if you infuse your own, that money just builds in whatever we are the product. We are the product. The black people are the product. All they doing is taking the best product out the ghettos, out the hoods, and putting them on white people. White people not buying jerseys because of number 12. They buying them because who's wearing number 12. And 9 times out of 10, it's a brother. Yeah. The same, and the funny thing to me is the same racist person that won't serve you would damn sure be in the Alabama game rooting for Derrick Henry.
Yeah. And I just from what you mentioned, even the older brother, that even though he was kind of rambling a little bit, he definitely hit the nail on the head with a couple of cultural implications. You mentioned, Clemson. I mean, that's a school that was built on an actual slave plantation. You know what I'm saying? And these top athletes are actually mentioning that in their IG and their Twitter.
DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins said he wants to take all that stuff. I think one of the class buildings he went to, he wanted to take the name off because he found out it was like a slave owner or something like that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, well, for Clemson, it's like the actual school was built on a slave plantation. But yeah, a lot of these kids are definitely waking up, and not just the kids, but their parents, and they're seeing a lot of this stuff that's going on. They're seeing how these players are getting used, and then you look at a Deion Sanders or someone who's telling their story, like, "Hey, I built this school, Florida State. Florida State was trash, and look at what they've been able to, accomplish and to build and to accumulate." But they won't even hire me as their damn coach.
Facts.
And a lot of former black players who went to these PWIs are saying that. And because they have that type of platform they have on social media or just in general, it's waking up a lot of these kids. So my whole point tonight is to say, I'm just so glad that the system that these white folks have put in place on the state level, as far as funding, they thought it was going to win. They thought they were going to keep us down for so long with regards to with funding our schools in an inadequate level. But black folks are shifting and saying, "Yo, we got this. We're going to do it on our own, and we're winning." So I just wanted to kind of counter your assessment on what the average black student athlete wants. And we see that Jackson does now. Jackson State has some nice facilities. Tennessee State has nice facilities, as does A&M. But if you get a brother in there, you know what I'm saying, who knows what he's talking about and can say, "Hey, I went pro, and I can get you there," or not even going professional athletes, I want to see you win. Because let's be honest, I don't know if you've seen the documentary on Netflix called School, and how majority of these players that are going to PWIs are getting put into a system where they're going through bogus classes and they're majoring in, basket weaving and general studies. And then after they leave, the school is just like, "Hey, F you on your own." I think these folks at HBCUs are telling that story and saying, "Hey, that's not our story." Because we got cats on our squad who are majoring in engineering and going to law school. We saw a brother on ESPN last week from Southern or Alabama A&M who's in law school, starting. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of our story is, hey, regardless if you come to our school, like regardless if you want to go pro or not, you're going to win in life, period. And that's just not the story that a lot of these folks that have went to PWIs have had the opportunity to say. So I'm just glad we're winning on our own terms. And we basically, come on, Jackson State is in Mississippi. We tell them the state of Mississippi, and y'all can kiss our ass. We got this.
I appreciate the call, Jay.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Hey, caller, you live. Hey, caller, you live.
Yo, what up?
What's good? Talk to me.
It's Joe from Detroit. Finkle Joe. Who would say Finkle Joe? It's Joe from Detroit.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
What's up, man? But I just want to touch on what y'all was talking about. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Like, not being disrespectful, but it's kind of we kind of take it disrespectful from HBCUs. When the best thing you can tell me is if you're good, you'll find you. We don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as a player, I want to be able to see the senior who junior or who I compete with every day, who going through the hell weeks with me, who to practice with me, the same classes. I want to be able to go to his pro day. I want to see what that's like. There's some, you got to look at the reason why we playing.
Mm-hmm.
Our older brothers played. We need to be able to see somebody do it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm looking at somebody negative, I'm from Detroit, dangerous city in the world. I'm looking at the drug dealers. They got money. That's why you want to be a drug dealer. You see them with money.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be able to see somebody do it first. Like, no disrespect to the older players, but I come in HBCU, the best thing you can tell me is, oh, Walter Payton made it. He made it. Show me somebody that made it my age or a little bit older. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, y'all don't have that. I mean, the only reason, honestly, I'm even tuning into HBCU thing is because Dion only got 30 jerseys. I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? And they ain't even winning. So, being honest with you, we about to stop paying attention. They ain't even winning.
That's real. That's real.
And like I said, Eddie George, not trying to be funny. We don't know Eddie George. Don't nobody my age know Eddie George. You know what I'm saying? The reason we know Dion because he in our face. We go to All-American games. He coaching. His son on overtime, he coaching high school team. We playing against his son in our face. Like, Eddie George not about to get like them two. They went to Florida State and Ohio State. The biggest schools.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's kind of disrespectful to us. The best thing you can tell me is you're going to come play with some black man and do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that for old people, they probably think about racism, but we don't know nobody racist except for the police. So, nobody my age, ain't nobody racist to us except for the police. So we don't have problems like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I go on a visit, what can you show me?
I get it. I get it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I had teammates, people from my city there, Alabama, they're weak. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not all of us came out of freshman ready to go. We waited in high school. We do the same thing here. I went the best tackle when I got to high school. I had to develop, get in the weight room, get my grades together. Then junior, senior, we was the guy. So we not about to get to college and act bougie like we been playing.
Yeah.
It's the same process. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody, why kids want to play basketball? They see LeBron doing it. Why kids want to play Odell? They see him at LSU. LeBron didn't go to college. Kobe didn't go to college. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be able to see somebody doing it first before anything. Like, how you doing this? I'm pretty sure it's somebody that inspired you to be a HBCU. You know what I'm saying? Who inspired you
to
be able to do this, right?
That's real.
You can't. That's disrespectful to us. For you know what I'm saying? For y'all to just tell us, if you good, you'll make it. What you mean? If I'm good, I'll make it. Don't that go for everybody? I mean, that's the best you can tell me, coach. Like, and y'all only reason to us is saying you're gonna play with some black people. You know what I'm saying? That's disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know other people's situations, but people trying to make it so they can have money, get their prayers, whatever they want. Y'all don't have no facilities. Feel terrible. Y'all not winning. Only reason, honestly, we paying attention is because of Dion, and that's because he in our face. Like I said, we go to the camps. He's there. His son is a high school player who has a whole TV show about it. We all watch. Other than that, we don't know, and they not winning. They not doing nothing. You can't. What draft pick? Tell me. Give me a name. I never even pay attention to this like that. To be honest with you, HBCU schools take me back. I used to laugh. I didn't know what they was. Like, that's why I actually like it now. Like, Alabama and them, it killed Glass. I like it now. It's cool. It's cool for them. But if none of them get drafted, we not gonna pay attention. I go to LSU, they gonna show me he got drafted. Our stadium fit 110,000. We on ESPN. He got drafted. He got drafted. He got drafted. We need to see results. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with any product.
Mm-hmm.
You don't buy a burger if it's nasty.
Facts.
Don't tell me, I'm a black man, I cooked it. That only goes so far. So don't do that with us. You can't just tell us, you're black. Come up here. That's disrespectful. All the work we put in. You can't just tell us that. Y'all gotta show results. So I don't know how long it's gonna take, 5 to 6 years to get people in the field, but and even if it's 1 or 2, we still not coming. We're gonna have to see multiple results. Like he said for North Dakota, that's not no facts. What are you talking about? Carson Wentz from North Dakota, who just a couple years ago won the Super Bowl. Trey Lance, who about to be a top 5 pick. I'm an offensive lineman. They gonna want to know who blocking for Trey Lance and Carson Wentz. I'm going to North Dakota. The same thing. It's about results. That's all it is about. I mean, you gotta have a reality check. I understand the black thing, what it is, but it's a reality check. You gotta put yourself in our shoes. I'm not going to play there. Dion only have 30 jerseys. And Dion not winning right now. With the 4 and 5 stars, people keep saying that it don't matter about no 4 and 5 stars. You gotta coach. That's what I'm saying. That we really starting to get irritated about the 4. When they don't do nothing to 4, they're gonna really look bad. Then we're gonna really stop caring. If they don't do nothing to 4, we're gonna stop caring. Like I said, Dion only have 30 scholarships. Then, like I said about the Corona, they taking all the players from the portal. They ain't even offering a lot of the seniors no more. So some of us don't even have a chance because they done jumped on all the other bandwagons. So some of us ain't even getting offers from the other HBCUs. But we not going there. No. Like I said, you go on a visit to build interest. When I go on a visit, what's the best thing you can show me? No, like I said, it's no disrespect from the other old guys. Like how they just said, North Dakota, Carson Wentz. They got another one, Trey Lance. They keep building quarterbacks. I was just in here 2 other days ago. They said they think Jalen Jones should go there because the quarterback from North Dakota now about to go to the NFL. That's the 3rd quarterback in 5 years? You gotta have results. I'm not going to play nowhere where the best thing you can tell me is if you good, you'll make it. So y'all ain't had nobody else good then, because ain't nobody else made it. That's basically what you're saying. If you good, you'll make it. So ain't nobody in 50 years been good. Nobody? Because I ain't seen nobody make it. I don't want to go. I'm not going to no visit. I'm like, there's no disrespect to the older players. There's no disrespect to older players. If they put in the work and they legends, but that's the best thing you can show me. Them are our favorite players, and the people that's really into football, we look at the older players, but that's not who we know.
All right, now you repeating yourself. We get it. You repeating yourself, but we get it though.
You understand.
I get you.
They just don't want to hear that. They're talking about money. No. You got to get to the draft picks first.
But I got you.
We not want to look out for the universities who gave us a chance, who took us football probably saved a lot of people's lives. Took them out of everything. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
no, we not.
Hey, appreciate the call, my guy. I got you though. I got you.
No problem.
All right, real quick before I get to these last couple callers. The people who are putting Tariq Cohen, Darius Leonard, you're making his point, right? You're making, on the low end, you're making this point. That's one person. So you're telling him that he's going to be the one person to make it when he can go to Alabama and be part of a 6, 8, 10, 12 class, in a class that might make it. You see what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't weigh the same. It just doesn't hit the same. You got this one player that gets drafted from South Carolina State, right? And don't get me wrong, there's other players that have come from South Carolina State. But what I'm saying is that you have a better chance, a higher possibility if you go to the Clemson, Ohio's, the Florida States, Florida, you know what I'm saying? You have those multiple kids, 5, 6, 7, 8 kids get drafted. But yet you go to South Carolina State and you got one. You go to North Carolina T, you got one. You go to Jackson State, You got one. Am I going to be that one? And no kid wants to hear that. Hey, caller, you live.
All right, man. This is KJ calling back, man. I'm gonna try to make sure I stay as calm as possible. Just listening to that is just one of the things where when I tell you how far we have to go as far as the Willie Lynch syndrome and so-called miseducation of the Negro that was written almost over 100 years ago. This is what we're still having to deal with. And I can tell you that trying to go into homes, this is what you heard all the time. And when I hear people talk about, well, my chances of going out again, Alabama has 120 players on that. If you do get 5 or 6 or 7 that goals, yes, again, the average NFL player life expectancy in the league, maybe 3 years, 2.5. At the same time, the millions and millions in which the head coach is making $15, $20 million off of you and doing that. It's so sad, man, that slavery has moved from the cotton fields to the football field. And when we so-called are woke or whatever, we'll see. We'll see. But I just can't tell you how many. And again, that's because, man, when we look at the social issues that break down the African-American family, you're going to have a lot of young boys who just don't have the guidance. And again, as I told you one other time, so much easier for a white man to come into the home, talk to that black mother, and tell, oh, we got your boy, we're going to take good care of him. I come in there and try to do it. Well, no, I think he's going to do a better job of taking care of my son. And that's terrible, man. But also, I just wanted to address the other thing about, I heard a caller was talking about the states are the ones that are kicking in for the monies for the other schools. Some of that is partially true, but a lot of it is not true. A lot of the state legislatures are prohibited from funding the athletic university. So that's why you'll find the largest, highest paid employee in the state is a football coach, which might be $250,000, $300,000, $400,000, but the rest of that money, that salary, is coming from boosters. So you go throughout the states, you'll see Alabama, University of Florida, these other places, the highest paid state employees a lot of times is the head coach. But again, his salary is supplemented by the boosters that come in. So the thing is that from when you look at Texas A&M and all this, that's money. That's money coming from big time oil boys that got that money that given to the university to build the stadiums, to build the practice facilities, flying the private jets and those stuff. So that's coming from there. So that's where we have to then come in and say, okay, we got to start giving back to our university. So if North Carolina A&T and Florida A&M produces all these pharmacists and engineers and those kind of things, we got to get them to give back to those universities, because again, the face of the university is oftentimes the athletic programs, or sometimes the bands do. But that's what we have to do to try to supplement that. But that's the thing that we are truly having to compete with, and I truly believe that we can get there. But it's just the mindset has got to change. We've got to be willing to pay more, to be able to say that we want to support our universities. And then also at the same time, the families have got to start at an early age talking to their kids about HBCUs, talking to them about and understanding. And when you talk about going to the league, man, again, 0.5% make it. 0.5%. You're going to be a professional doing something else than playing professional football. It's the craziest thing. And when you talk about CTE that's going on, right, it's the craziest thing I ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
To try to continue to push that with all these black boys thinking that they're going to make it to the pros. It's crazy, man. So I just wanted to just bring that up and say that, man, and you can comment from there.
No, listen, KJ, listen, I ain't gonna lie to you, when you speak, I just listen, my guy, because you're coming from an angle that I haven't experienced it from, and you're in the trenches of what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Me telling you something other than what you've experienced will be me, making something up, a facade, and that's not how I get down. So like I said, every time you call, I answer, because I know you're going to give the people and the viewers a different perspective from, what it's like in the trenches in recruiting, in the back office, in the front office, in the school compliance office, all that stuff that goes into that. And I truly appreciate you taking the time to make the call and to educate people who are on here to know what all that process looks like. So like I said, I just listen, my guy. When you call, I just listen. When I hear KJ, I'm like, oh shit, let me just chill. Because I know you're gonna drop something.
All right, man. I just wanted to address that, man. Like I said, I hope for all the fathers and mothers out there who want their kids to play football, and that's cool and do well. But don't buy into the thing of the Alabamas but look at the bigger picture and understand that these coaches, man, they are all about when they tell you that we're gonna take care of your son, and as soon as your son get there, the first time they get the best opportunity, they take off and leave. That tells you all you need. It is a business, and you are the product in which they are exploiting to be able to go on to the next level. As soon as you get a chance to understand that, and I know people say, well, hey, HBCUs do that, but believe me, when you talk about people that truly will care about your son to make sure they get out of there, there's nothing like an HBCU that does that. And I can attest to that, man. They will make sure that your son graduates and goes on and do something. It is a family, man. It really is. So that's all I have to say, man.
Hey, appreciate the call, KJ.
All right.
Hey, caller, you live. Hey, caller, you live.
Yeah, that guy just was speaking. That was very powerful. Yeah, this is Coach Rank from Louisiana.
What's going to talk to me?
What he was just talking about, that was powerful. What he just was talking about. And like you're saying, in Power 5 colleges, they use the word family. And they know that most young Black American kids need a father figure in their life. Think about this. Family, to us guys, is I don't talk a lot, and I get emotional most of the time when I talk to you, man, because football is football. Football took me out the hood. Football is good in the hood, but we don't still need unity in our community.
Mm-hmm.
And football in college, you go to college to learn, and once you learn, then you earn what is NFL money or what type of, and then you're supposed to return back to your community. Learn, earn, and return. And I think, Dion, what he's doing, Dion to learn from Florida State. And he earned in the NFL, and he returned it back to Jackson State. Well, like I always say, Dion will be great. All thing Dion needs to do is surround himself with other coaches and other administration people to help him take Jackson State to the next level. That's all he needs to do. It's not hard. And I heard you talk earlier about him adjusting at halftime. That's true. And all the way you win a game, you have to win the first, second, third, and fourth quarters. So every game, whether you win it or losing, just to Dion, have a plan C. Always have a plan C. That's how you become a winner. That's how you compete. And the Swac is back, man. Thanks to guys like you. With T-shirts hanging in the background, man. The Swac is back, man. I love what you're doing, man. Keep doing what you're doing. God bless.
I appreciate it, Coach. Hey, caller, you live.
Hello?
Yeah. What's up? You live.
Hey, how you doing? It's Frank from Maryland.
What's good? Talk to me.
Man, first I want to say, man, you're doing a good job on your channel, man, and appreciate you for streaming the games, even though I know YouTube was giving you some trouble today. We appreciate it, though. But what I really wanted to talk about was people in the comments talking about North Dakota State and James Madison.
Mm-hmm.
And what I wanted to say was most people didn't know about North Dakota State until Carson Wentz got drafted.
Facts.
So all Dion needs to do is get some top players drafted, and then that will put JSU and other HBCUs on the map. Because, like, say for instance, Shadur go first round. If Shadur go first round, the next quarterback that comes in, a 5-star quarterback may be like, oh, okay, I can go first round at Jackson State. Let me go to Jackson State now.
Yeah, that's
and then that person gets drafted. Now JSU is on the map. Now JSU is a major player in the college football landscape. That's how North Dakota State did. North Dakota State wasn't no powerhouse school. They just finally got some good players, and Carson Wentz got drafted. And now look what's going on now. Trey Lance is about to get drafted.
Yeah.
So that's how it starts. So Dion is doing right. Y'all gonna see what's gonna happen, man. As soon as Shador get drafted, you're gonna see other players thinking about, oh, okay, let me go to JSU, let me go to an HBCU, and y'all gonna see what's gonna happen, man. Things are about to change.
All right.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say, man.
I agree with like 99% of what you said until you said Shador getting drafted. Other than that, I don't have much to say about what you had to say, but I'm not a believer in Shador. That's just my personal opinion.
I mean, from what I've researched and know, that scouts are actually looking at him as a viable quarterback that's going to be drafted when they go to college. You know, from what I've read and researched, they're looking at him. Now he's not somebody like that's going to be first pick or anything like that, but they are looking at him as a pro quarterback, somebody that's going to go in the pros. And he has a famous name, a famous father, so they're going to be looking at him.
All right. Appreciate the call, my guy.
No problem.
Hey, calling you live.
Hey, Scotty, man, what's cracking, man? It's Manny from Baltimore.
Talk to me.
Hey, man, for one, let me give you, man, big ups, man. Appreciate you for streaming, man. Appreciate you for the content, brother.
Hey, appreciate you.
Man. Hey, man, keep it up, you hear me?
Yes, sir.
But also, man, the young boy was talking real, man. But it kind of shows you the dark side to the story. It's like, you know what I'm saying, for a while, I remember telling you the last time I talked, man, that I was an athlete, and it was so appealing because of the TV. You know, you see on the TV, these schools have revenue. They're on TV. They have their own networks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so appealing to the young kids, you know what I'm saying? Because they're thinking, oh, I'm going to be on TV. I'm going to get drafted. My draft stock is higher here. They're not thinking, oh, it's 120 kids on the team. And out of the 120, you know, I might be, you know, one out of maybe 10 kids or 8 kids to be drafted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's the exposure that you're getting. And like you know what I'm saying? Because of the Dion hire, I really started to watch HBCU.
Facts.
Like that.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Even knowing I just started watching. But truth be told, that's all we kind of needed. He's getting these sponsorships now. You know what I'm saying? It's because of the Dion appeal or the Dion effect that so many things are happening right now for the Swac. So what everybody should now want to do is they should want to keep that momentum going. You know, we're going into the fall. If we're going into the fall, we have to think, okay, we're not going to get that same airtime on ESPN because that's something that's already cemented to FBS. So can we get on Fox Network? Can we see about ESPN Network? Mm-hmm. They had discussions, but we ain't hear nothing about it. We have to use that momentum and find other ways to try to, you know what I'm saying, keep that going, man. But like I said, brother, hey, Scotty, man, hey, man, I'm going to keep watching, man. I got my notification bell on and everything. I'm at work, you know what I'm saying, trying to sneak and watch and see what's going on with you, man.
I appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate you. Man, appreciate the love, man. Real talk. And you be safe at work, my guy.
Oh, definitely, man. Definitely.
All right. This is my last caller right here, calling you alive. Caller, you live. Caller. Caller, you live. Caller, you live.
Yo, hey, this is Joe again. I just want to say one more thing.
Why does everybody, when I say this is my last caller, now y'all want to call in all crazy? Go ahead.
No, listen. I just want to say one more thing. Why do they keep saying you can be good at have work ethic? So listen, if some of these schools ain't had nobody drafted since the 90s, you telling me out of hundreds of teams ain't nobody been good or had a work ethic? They keep saying work ethic and ethic. Work ethic. The last player I had is in the 1990s. It's 2021. Ain't nobody been good. Nobody.
Bro, listen, Joe. Joe, at the end of the day, hello?
Yeah, I'm
Oh, okay. I said at the end of the day, Joe, it's like this. You making it to the league is probably the same amount of you being struck by lightning. If you think about all the colleges, if you think about all the people that play, you like being struck by lightning. So it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't, if you're being completely honest, like KJ said, 90% of people will be professional in something else other than football. So if you just so happen to be that guy, that's you. If not, it's not you. It's just that simple. I agree with what you're talking about with what attracts players, what makes a player choose a school and what makes a player get interested. Excuse me. Excuse me. But at the end of the day, it's still a crapshoot. It's still a crapshoot.
And that's to our point, like what you said, or the older guys, they want to keep throwing that percentage in our face. Only 10% make it, only 15%. You want to keep telling us 10% make it, 15% make it at the Power 5 schools. Then you want me to go to HBC school when ain't nobody made it in 40 years.
But you're missing the point, though, at the same time, my guy. It's the same thing KJ's telling you. KJ's saying that mentality that you have is what's getting you messed up. Because if you go to Alabama, you have a 90% chance you still won't get drafted. You see what I'm saying? Because of the low percentages. So why not go to a school in an environment that is conducive to you, conducive to your culture, conducive to grooming you?
I see what y'all been saying, but it's not really a mentality. It's results.
No, you're still not getting it. It's not no, Joe. You're not getting it. I get what you're saying, but you're not listening. Listen. It doesn't matter if you go to Ohio State and Ohio State put 10 players out. Think about the percentages. If there's 120 players on the team and 5 players get drafted that year, you're still part of the small minority that didn't get drafted. All right. So that's when he's telling you, if you change your mindset to think about, okay, I'm going to school to play football. If I become a draft player, cool. If not, I want to be in an environment that's conducive to me and my culture. Then you don't have the same worries as somebody going to a Clemson, Ohio State, because your first goal is not to get drafted because you're thinking to yourself,
So you basically telling us to have a mentality that we go to HBCU, we know we ain't getting drafted. So
let me ask you this. Right?
That's basically what y'all telling us.
Listen, Joe, listen. My thing is what I'm telling you is this. If you got 5 of your friends, right, and they all went to Alabama, right, one of you gets drafted, what do the other 4 do? No, I'm asking you a question. What do the other 4 do? Did Alabama's whole team get drafted? Did all the seniors on Alabama's team get drafted?
No.
So what do they do? What do they do?
I guess follow it wherever they degree lead them, I guess.
Oh, okay. That's what they're saying. That's all he's saying to you. He's just saying if you have the mindset to change and think of it in the sense of a holistic atmosphere, like a holistic picture, instead of you taking the sliver. Because what is happening and why he's saying it's a slave mentality, right? Is black kids hold on to the 0.0001% of them making it to the league. That's the goal. That's the dream. But you can make more money being a lawyer. You can make more money being a plumber. You can make money being an electrician. Black men, black athletes are so enamored with the 0.00% of going to the league that they don't even see anything other than that, right? Have you seen the movie Friday Night Lights?
Yeah, I understand everything you're saying, but
listen. Booby Miles busts his knee up. What does he tell his dad in the car? Oh, you don't remember? Okay, so you didn't watch Friday Night Lights. He says,
No, I did watch it. I just don't remember.
What he says to his dad in the car, he says, "What am I supposed to do if I don't play football? What am I going? What am I going to do? All I know is football. What am I going to do? All I know is football." He keeps telling that to his dad. That's black athletes' mentality. If it doesn't work with the sport, what else do I have?
I understand that for sure, because my brother played for Central Michigan a couple years ago. He was an All-American. He busted his knee up. He couldn't play. He was the same way.
So,
but I understand exactly what you're saying, because I got that like in my house. My brother went to Central Michigan to a D1 school, and he tore his meniscus and everything. He couldn't play no more. So I understand what y'all saying, but that's not reality. You know what I'm saying, like,
that is reality. Right. You're living in reality. Joe,
yeah,
you just said your brother. You just said your brother is living in the same house as you. He busted his knee up. You talking about that's not reality? You're living it, my guy. You can tell kids. You could be the story for kids to be like, look, my brother was an All-American. He busted his knee up. Football dream over. Then what? What's next? What's next?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. My brother went to Central Michigan, busted knee up. Now he got a business. He using both the degrees that he has.
That's what I'm saying. That's 90%. Listen, that's the 99% of life. That's 99% of life. He got a business. He got 2 degrees. He's living well. If black kids, it's nothing wrong with having a dream to go to the NFL. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not telling you to not pick a school based off your dream to get in the NFL. All I'm telling you, Joe, is don't let that be the end all be all. That's it. That's it. Because there's a 90% chance you won't get drafted.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I'm not knocking anything you're saying. I'm really not. Because you're speaking facts. That's true life. Kids are going to pick programs based on where they feel they can get drafted.
That's it. Like you said, all we want is a shot. That's all we want. And y'all gonna, and like I said, the older guys, they gonna keep throwing the percent in our face, 10%, 15%.
It's less than that.
Then you want me to go to it's less than that.
It's less than that, my guy.
Nobody made it. And then the only thing you can tell me is if you make it, if you're good enough, they'll find you. So ain't nobody been good?
Joe, you're missing the point, my guy. That's all I'm asking. You're not seeing the bigger picture.
You're saying after you'll make it. I see what you're saying. You're saying if you don't make it, your plan B.
And you have to have
everybody should be thinking like that. I hope they would.
You see what I'm saying? Like I'm not knocking what you're saying, my guy. I really am not. Because I get your logic in the sense of you want to know what it is that what you're going to offer me to get me to the league. But what KJ and all these older men are telling you, listen, I can promise you, maybe at least 5 or 10 people in this chat were probably superstars in college. I can guarantee you that at least in high school, either superstars in high school and superstars in college, and they're probably businessmen right now, working at banks, working at a Fortune 500 company, making a good life for themselves, and they're not in the league. So they're telling you, look, yes, that's a goal. Yes, that's an aspiration, but it shouldn't be, you shouldn't put your eggs all in one basket. That's the only thing I'm trying to tell you, Joe. That's it. Appreciate the call, my guy. Hey, caller, you live. You my last caller.
Hey, Oscar. My name is Philip Dempsey, calling you out of Macon, Georgia. And I want to just speak. Let me cut this thing down so you can hear me. I want to just talk about the comment with the brother talking about North Dakota State and how this relates to this whole thing with the points, great points you're making.
Yes, sir.
I believe that the Bisons just went out there and they done their thing. They came up with a plan, got Coach Bull, and they figure nobody really paying us no mind. So let's just play some people like Minnesota, Golden Gophers, and they went out there and beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And what I said, how that relates to what you're saying, that I agree with a lot of things you're saying, is every program just have to believe in what they're doing and let the cards fall where they may. These guys went out there, say, no one's paying us no attention. Let's just play people like some mid-majors, some power fives, and just go out there and try to win these games. And that's what put them on the map.
Mm-hmm.
And relating to this Deion Sanders thing, Coach Sanders name, the AD from Prairie View, Ashley Robinson, he was really going after Coach Simmons at FAMU once the Jackson State job opened. But once he saw he probably wasn't going to get shotgun to leave town to go back to Jackson, getting Prom from Texas to Christian school out there, Trinity, was a good move to get him over to Jackson State.
Let me ask you this: How do you have the information that Ashley was going after Willie Simmons?
Reason I'm saying that because when Coach Simmons was at Alcorn State, he done a great job out there. Coach Hodgson has left there and went to Southern Miss. And Coach Willie Simmons was in the running for the FAMU job back in 2015, and Coach Alice Wood got it. So Ashley Robinson called Coach Willie Simmons and gave him a shot at Prairie View. So looking at the success they had out there, them two had together from the AD to the coach, thing, and administration to the helping him out, facilities and all that, and had a good run out there. Then when opportunity presented itself, when FAMU reached out to Prairie View to get Coach Simmons at FAM, then Ashley Robinson was like, hey, I want to take a shot at, some people. I'm going to take a shot at shotgun. If I can't get him, Prom is the next best option. And I think that's how that stars align with that situation right there. But to answer your question, my question I want to ask you though, Miss Scotty, is I think the spring is a good barometer for what's to come. But I think if you have Alcorn State in this thing and FAM and Bethune-Cookman, do you think we're having the same conversation as far as where everyone's ranked right now?
Repeat the question. I'm sorry.
Do you think, in your opinion, if Alcorn State did not opt out for the spring and if FAM and Cookman was in it, do you think we're having the same conversation with where everyone are right now?
No.
The reason I ask you that is because everyone's going to step up naturally anyway, because not just because of Prom, but just everybody saying, okay, we got two schools coming in here, plus Prom over there with Jackson State. So your Arkansas Pine Bluffs, your Valleys, Alabama A&M's, Alabama States, everyone's going to step up. And I think this thing right here just showed everyone's true colors going into the fall. So it's you kind of just get an idea where everyone is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to throw your team under the bus based on my team under the bus. Like when you in this, I'm trying to get it all together because I know we don't have that much time. But I guess what I'm trying to say is each program, when they meet each other on game day, that's where they are. It's not going to change in 24 hours. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say, like, if you take the Florida Classic last year, Cookman and FAM, I think that Cookman's been on a 9-year run so far with a winning streak.
Uh-huh.
But if you really just look at it closely, this winning streak was established before Coach Simmons got the FAM back in 2018. And
okay, hold on. Hey, whoa. You are going down a rabbit hole. I am not trying to follow you down. What is your point?
Okay, I guess my point is on a scale of 50 scale, where you're going upwards from 60 up to 100 if you agree or disagree, or going to negative, going down to 0. My point is, looking at all the spring games so far, do you think that's what we're gonna get in the fall when everything comes into the fall?
Okay, no, that is not. I think you're going to get some clashes, some big time clashes in talent.
Yes, sir.
You know, with FAMU, Bethune-Cookman. Listen, this is my thing, and I'm gonna say it like this, and I keep it. Derek Watson.
I hate.
No. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna keep it moving. The simple thing is this: I always will take chemistry over hired mercenaries. I'm gonna stand by that. Whoever you want to associate it with is whoever you want to associate it with. I'm not saying no names. I'm not pointing no elbows. Nothing. All I'm gonna tell you is this: I will always pick chemistry over hired guns any day of the week. That's my point. And with that, I'm gonna have to let you go, my guy.
All right. I'm glad you told me that. But let me ask you this though: Do you think though, if when you insert these two Florida institutions and bring Alcorn State back, I'm not talking about one school in particular, just in the barometer of Swac play, do you think I'm just saying, I know you say you gotta go, but do you think by adding all these elements in here, I like my question earlier, I said on a scale from 1 to 100.
Get to the question.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Script. My thing is, I feel what do you think the teams that's going to finish at the top in the spring going to be in the same place in the fall? That's basically it.
I mean, that does. You can't say that, because when you add more teams, there's more games, more problems, more matchups. Everything is just too many variables to really focus on that. Do I think,
Miss Scotty? I'm talking about if you don't. Let me answer this simple. I'm gonna simplify it real quick. I'm talking about if we disregard the non-conference games and we just go SWAC games only. Who do you think? Do you think the pecking order will still be sort of similar, or do you think with addition with Fam and Cookman, those two and Alcorn back in the fold, do you think those three are going to be on top of where everyone is now, in the middle, or in the bottom, based on what you know with everybody? You talked to X-Man, and you talked to Sergio, and you talked to some people, Nugget and them guys, and you got a good perspective of things. So how you feel?
I think it's going to change drastically. The only team that I see really competing still at the same level is actually two teams. Is because I don't know what Alcorn is, so I can't speak on them. But it's Southern. It's Southern Alabama A&M. That's to me, those two teams are legit. Alabama State. I'm still up in the air about. But at the end of the day, Alabama A&M and Southern are the two teams that I definitely will rock with.
Now, here's the best games I want you to circle on your calendar, and I want you to, I'll call you back later in the future so we can talk about it. The best games to look out for this year, I think, is FAM in Alabama A&M, FAM Valley, and FAM at Palm Bluff. So that's all I want to say. Thank you for giving me the time, man.
Oh, no, anytime, my guy.
And my name's Philip, and keep up the good work, and I'll get back with you.
Hey, appreciate you, Philip.
In the future. Peace.
Y'all, listen. I'm trying to listen to the man conversation. I got stupid comments like Mr. Walker, Cut Day, Top 5 Sports, all this stuff coming up, and I'm over here trying to stay locked in, and y'all over here making me laugh, man. Oh my goodness, y'all get on my nerves. Hey, appreciate y'all for rocking with me, man. It is 1:30 in the morning. Take y'all ass to sleep. I know some of y'all Central Time, so take y'all ass to sleep. My girl probably knocked out in the back. She probably like, don't touch me, but we're not gonna. Yeah. Anyway, so until next time, guys, you know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna holler. Love y'all, man. God bless.